Hi, welcome to the Canadian Preppers Network YouTube channel. This time around, we're taking a request from the boys over at the Prepper Trifecta. Sit tight, we'll be right back. Alright, so the guys over at the Prepper Trifecta, namely Shay at Prepper Logic and Eric from Rule the Wasteland, they recently did a video along with Morgan from Rogue Preparedness about 5 things to do to prepare for the upcoming US election. Well, before you start preparing for anything, you have to figure out what the dangers are. If you live on the West Coast, your dangers are probably more than likely earthquake. Central U.S., it might be tornadoes. East Coast, say you're in the Carolinas, you might be more worried about hurricanes. Here we're talking about a national thing here. There's no specific area that this will or won't affect. It is the upcoming U.S. election. Regardless of which side wins, half of, or approximately half of the U.S. population is going to be with their knickers in a twist, let's say. So what kind of dangers are we looking at? Well, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that probably the biggest danger following the U.S. election is going to be riots. Well, they've been happening along the U.S. They've been happening in Canada, too, for different reasons. But the political climate in the U.S. right now is a very touchy situation. And depending on how this election goes, things could get nasty on the streets. So let's take a look at it from basically preparing for a riot. The number one item on my list is a police scanner. The best way to survive a riot is not to be there in the first place. And if you want to avoid the riot, you have to know where it is. Get yourself a police scanner. A lot of police forces are still using standard UHF frequencies, so a typical Baofeng would do the trick there. Some of them have switched over to more sophisticated trunk systems, which means you're going to have to get something a little bit more complicated for a police scanner. But the fact remains, listen to it, find out if anything's going on in the area you need to travel through, and avoid it if at all possible. The second item would be body armor. Yes, some of these riots have had shootings in them, so you want to protect your vital organs. Get yourself some body armor. The third item, and this might come as a surprise coming from a Canadian, but the third item for me would be your concealed carry weapon. Don't be looking at taking a little 22 or 32 snub or something like that. Get something with some stopping power, 9mm, 45, something in that kind of range. If you want more insight into body armor and a weapon for protecting yourself, go check out Eric's channel, Rule the Wasteland. He did a video on these 5 items, and he's got a lot more insight into it than I do. Body armor and pistols are not my forte. So go check his channel out. He had a little more advice on that, but I tend to agree with him on those 2 items anyway. Number 4, cell phone. No, it's not for calling 911. Typically, everybody has a smartphone with a video camera on it. The idea behind that would be to put it in your plate carrier or your load-bearing rig, whatever you have on you, so that the camera is at chest level, pointing away from you, recording everything that's going on around you. You just never know when you're going to need some video evidence of what happened in any particular situation. Number 5, last but not least, is a copy of your emergency contact info. spouses, brother, sister, whoever your emergency contact is, if you do get injured and are taken to the hospital, you're going to want somebody to be able to call somebody to get to you to help you out. On top of that, make sure in that emergency contact info is the name and number of your lawyer. Let me say that again. Make sure you have the name and contact information for your lawyer with you at all times. You never know. I don't really know how this is going to compare to some of the other people that did videos on this. I know some things are the same, some things are totally different. But that's what I came up with 5 items. Police scanner to avoid the riots if you can. Body armor to protect your vital organs should shooting occur. A concealed carry weapon to shoot back if you're being fired upon. A cell phone, more for recording what's going on around you. And contact info for doctors to call, or if you need one, your lawyer. Make sure you have that. Anyway, that's my 5 items. Let me know in the comments what you think. In the meantime, be prepared, Canada and the US. It's a tough world out there.